Today on WebDM, we're playing some 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. That's Autumn, we got Emma, we got Josh, I'm Pruitt, and as always, we got our Dungeon Master, Jim Davis. Let's get it on.
Got done with the kennel yesterday, guys. There was a brief fight. Looks like maybe some extraplanar fiendish types had been sent out to delay you, or perhaps even maybe kill you if they were unlucky. But you guys were on your way to visit the Wood Elves. Mm-hmm. So I believe you guys were gonna take a long rest, spend the night at John's cabin.
Bury my dogs.
Bury your dogs.
Allow the appropriate time for morning.
Right. The appropriate time for morning.
Which is about sunrise.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
One long rest.
It's a dog.
Yeah.
It was 5, not just one.
It's 5 dogs.
It was 5 dogs.
Yeah.
5 dogs.
Yeah, Gleason died.
Yes, Gleason died because he ran ahead of the group and was caught by the creature as it was making its way towards you. So, yes.
So we learned a valuable lesson twice.
Yes.
Don't split
Don't
up.
split up.
Split up the group.
And so now Cherish will be joining us.
Cherish.
We'll see what happens to her.
Okay. So, the morning comes. You've buried your dogs. You've had it's probably like, 9 or so in the morning or whatever. You guys are going to go straight to the Wood Elves. What's your plan for the day?
Well, do you know of this warlock? What's her name? His name?
His name is Jugurtha.
Jugurtha? And do you know where to find him exactly?
Well, Jugurtha does not like me, and I don't like Jugurtha. We've come into conflict before.
Right.
So it's more like he's one of my minor enemies. So we're going to have to do some convincing. And I probably won't be the one to do it.
Okay.
Before he's going to help us.
Maybe we should start with the Wood Elves then.
Yeah.
Let's split up and do both.
No!
Well, I also don't know how to find Jugurtha exactly, so at first things first, Wood Elves.
You think they might know where Jugurtha is?
I think they would, yeah.
Okay, well, seems pretty, we'll set out in search of the Wood Elves, which apparently our crossbowed friend knows where they are.
Yeah, and I'm looking to find Sarissa, he's a leader. She's a leader amongst the Wood Elves, so that's going to be my contact on our way in, and we'll see what happens with Jugurtha. Hopefully it goes well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully. So, you guys set out. By this point, Raya's parents, as well as Miranda and Devlin, decide that they would probably be safest back towards where the manor is, and they make their way over there. They realize kind of like, if something were to happen again, then they'd just be out here by themselves. So they're going to be at the manor while you guys set off sort of south along the coast before heading deeper into the woods to find the Wood Elves. Like it was yesterday, you estimate that it'll probably take about 4 or 5 hours, and then you pretty much just go straight there. There's always a possibility that they will find you before you find them.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping for it.
You do run that risk, or not really risk, but there is a possibility for that. All right, cool. So anything you guys need to do before you set out? Any planning that you need to do, or is everybody ready to go?
Ready to
Refill my water skins and get ready to head out.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so you head out. The trails around here cut through the dense primordial forest and kind of keep everything sort of. It's all cold and misty this morning as you make your way into these coastal forests.
Very sad.
The trip itself is relatively uneventful. You don't really come across any. Threats or anything like that. And John, you would know that over the last few years that the number of threats that have sort of menaced this populace has dramatically decreased. So even over the last few years, your job has gotten easier and easier as the owl bears are not that common anymore, or the occasional hydra. You don't really see those kind of things anymore. So walking, you've almost gotten used to the fact that walking through the woods here is usually pretty pleasant and not really threatening in any way.
Usually.
Right.
Sometimes you find devils or demons or whatever.
Sometimes you do.
Sometimes.
But there's no, but you're not really having to worry about a lot of threats out there. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. You don't run into the wood elves before you reach their settlement, so it takes you about 4 hours to get there.
Okay.
The fog lets up after about an hour or so as you guys travel through the woods. Anything you guys are doing along the way, or?
I'm traveling full alert, which I can do thanks to my favorite terrain class feature.
So the plan now is to get to the wood elves, try to find where Jugurtha is, and then what's your plan after that?
Well, also find out any info that they might have on these recent disappearances to further solidify our theory as to what we're dealing with.
Right.
Yeah. The only other thing I was considering is my Fey contact, but it might have, again, we're not splitting up again, so that might have to be something that gets pushed to the side. But if they know where my Fey contact is, we could get to her within a day, maybe.
Okay.
That's
What about Fabian and Rinn? What's are you guys pretty much on board? Anything else that the two of you were thinking about, or what?
At this point, I think we need more information. Losing the child hangs heavily on Fabian, and he hopes by the end of the day maybe we can get her back. Even though he knows that's probably too optimistic.
Yeah.
But he's not really going to sleep well at night until we do that.
Gotcha.
Just remember, the storm buffet's both innocent and villainous alike. So.
Yeah.
Whatever, Theron.
Everything's a storm metaphor.
Fabian's having a rough morning then?
Fabian is not a morning person. In character, just decided that. He's not a morning person.
He's not a morning person?
Nope, he had a tough night of drinking alone, as is his want.
Oh.
Yes.
Right.
Have a little bit of the hair of the dog that bit you. Sorry.
Oh, that was bad. That was a bad one.
Out of character, I require a player's handbook.
There we go.
Thank you very much.
There you go. So yeah, like I said, the trek to the Wood Elf community is uneventful. You get there, shortly before lunchtime or midday. And, so this is a typical Wood Elf community, right? They try to build their structures in accordance with nature. They try not to, make too much of an impact wherever it is that they live.
Yeah.
And this particular community has about 40 or so Wood Elves and maybe 5 or 6 forest gnomes that live in this community. It's usually like a house or something that's built kind of half below ground, half above ground with like a sod roof. And they also they do a lot of like living in trees and things like that.
Okay.
So you sort of come into the middle of this settlement. You're sort of followed. What's everybody's passive perceptions real quick?
15.
15?
15.
23.
23. All right. So Rinn. Rinn.
Observant for the win.
Plus the rogue.
Yeah.
Plus the rogue.
So Rinn notices the Way Watchers and Elven Rangers before anybody else does, and they are using a series of walkways that connect to the trees. They're probably about 30 feet up. Once you point them out to everybody, they're really obvious. But it was probably an hour or so that you were walking along, noticing the walkways before you saw anyone on them. I don't know if you'd alert everybody to it or if you just make a note of it.
Yeah, I'd probably wait until I actually see someone on there and then go ahead and be like, "Yup, guys,
Okay.
we're here."
All right. So they're not at
Yeah,
no
we're not
point.
trying to hide, right?
At no point are they
No.
threatening. They don't ever. They don't shoot at you or tell you to go away. They just kind of quietly watch you as you
And I
make your way
might,
towards them.
yeah, just the first one I see, just kind of like wave them down, like, "Hey,"
Okay.
scream up there in Elvish, like, "Hey, we were looking for you guys."
Okay. So you ask them to come down. Mm-hmm. All right. So this will happen before you guys actually get to the settlement. Then.
Okay.
Eventually there's like a concealed rope ladder that 2 of them sort of shimmy down and meet you on the forest floor. And they're wood elves. They look like they spend most of their lives camping out and living rough.
Look a little like me, maybe.
Maybe a little bit, yeah.
Just not as weird looking, probably. Because they're elves.
Mhm.
They're still pretty.
Sure.
Sure.
To each their own. There.
Oh.
Okay. Well, they come down, then I guess introduce myself,
Okay.
and we're here seeking knowledge and advice about the ill that has befallen this land.
Right.
Certainly, your keen eyes have seen in the last few years.
So one of them introduced himself as Xyston, Xyston, and excuse me. Basically, just kind of looks at you like, you mean what threat? I mean, these woods are quiet. They're
Little human children being kidnapped. 13-year-old girls.
He kind of responds. There's sort of a brief moment of like, what was that? What did I hear again? And he's just like, oh yeah, I had heard of that.
Not a big concern. For
Right. No, I mean,
Yeah.
the elves hadn't experienced anything like that.
Well,
And they kind of keep to themselves. So, but Xyston responds that Sarissa had mentioned that some of the human communities were facing some sort of threat to their children. So he's like, yeah, I'd heard of that, but don't really know many details, I'm afraid.
We'll catch them up on the whole story. 13 years ago, this started, and now this is going on.
Like these are related to what happened long ago.
It's all the same children.
Probably.
supposedly.
That's really
It's the same children in the same order, so it stands to reason.
yeah.
And we have some theories on what this might be.
What might have a long-term evil plan.
Yeah,
Right.
but we need the help of. I was looking to talk to Sarissa, but also Jagurtha.
Well, I'm not sure where Jagurtha is, but Sarissa might know. She is. She's at the settlement. If you want to
Okay.
make your way there,
Good,
Maybe we
good.
should take this up with Sarissa then.
Yeah.
that should be clear. Okay, so they escort you back, and you make it there. Like I said, without any incident. There at the community, a group of wood elves come out to greet you. One of whom you recognize as Sarissa. She's an older elf, probably like 500-600 years old.
Yeah.
But has spent the better part of the last century establishing this community and getting it, getting them situated in this part of the world.
Yeah.
She's their de facto leader.
Yeah, being the eldest, I guess.
Uh,
Well, I'll say hello. I'm sure we know each other at least well enough to.
of one another,
Of
maybe
one
met one
another.
another past. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'll introduce everyone, and this is Theron and Fabian and Rinn, and we're all looking for, Jagurtha or information specifically, which you or Jagurtha might know.
Okay.
We're making some assumptions here.
Right.
I know Jagurtha and I are not on good terms,
Yeah.
but we'll explain everything. I'm not good with the words, the 7 charisma, so if these guys need to talk, they can.
Okay.
Yeah, we can just relate like what we
Convincing
think.
is
We've
required.
seen this, all these children were taken.
Mhm.
13 years later, they're being taken in the same order.
Pull out that little drawing that Rhea gave us, like this, and she said it was purple.
It's purple.
Gotcha.
There's a lot of
Like a troll, extremely
yeah.
lanky.
Our paladin did
Yeah,
see
wild
outside.
hair.
There were 2 fey presence and a demonic presence, traveling in 3. So we have a theory that this might be the work of hags, but we're not sure,
Yeah.
and we're trying to pin that down.
Oh.
But if I'm remembering correctly, don't hags travel in covens of 3?
Well, Sarissa she assumes so. Her knowledge of the Fae is fairly limited.
Yeah,
But-
as is mine.
Yeah. However, she knows that there is a hag nearby that lives with the goblins.
So it is confirmed.
But I'm not sure if she's the one that you're looking for. You'd also find Jagurtha there as well. That's where he's at. So, if you need someone to take you there, one of my rangers can.
Well,
Be happy to help.
Yeah, we could use the help. I don't know the way specifically.
Okay.
Yeah, it does seem that all the clues are at least pointing to that.
Yeah.
Some kind of fey presence.
You might also be interested in someone we found 2 days ago wandering the woods.
Oh?
And she sort of beckons you to one of these sunken huts that they live in. And you guys follow her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, too.
She opens the door, and inside it's warm and cozy and nice. And there is sort of an elderly elven grandmotherly figure who is helping a adolescent girl eat some soup or something there at a table as she has breakfast.
Is it Tesca?
It is not Tesca. They introduce her as Prunella,
That's November.
one of the girls that you
Miss November, hello.
from your list.
How did she get over here? It's quite a ways.
Quite a ways. I'm not sure exactly how she got to where she was. We found her 2 days ago wandering alone in the woods. And we took her in. She's been fairly quiet since then.
Okay. Well,
Could you tell how long she had been there for?
She'd been wandering maybe a day or so.
do you have anyone versed in arcane or divine skills here?
Not really. Lucan has some skill, my son, so she. But he hasn't been here since she arrived, and there's no one else in the community that has any skill with that.
Has this girl displayed any strange behavior?
No, she's scared, obviously. Sarissa's the only other elf in the village that really can speak common very well. Most of the others never bothered to learn it or speak it sort of in a broken manner. So,
Well,
Sarissa's kind of kept to herself.
Yeah.
Or Prunella's kind of kept to herself.
Well, I'm gonna say to Prunella, if you don't mind, I would like to look over you for a minute, if that's okay.
She says, yeah, that'd be fine. She tells you guys, Prunella tells you guys that she was scared that Tesca and Cadlia both were missing or dead, and that she knew that she was connected with them somehow. I mean, they had grown up together all their lives.
Tell me something, Prunella, and please don't be afraid. Please tell us the truth. We need to know this to help you. Have you been experiencing dreams?
She has dreams every year around her birthday.
Around her birthday?
Yeah.
Yeah. Being
But
followed?
Yeah.
So yes, being followed in your dreams. This is what we've.
Yeah. She described something that's very similar to what Rhea told you.
Okay, so I'm gonna pull up my wand to detect magic. Cast a spell.
She is oozing necromantic magic.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna relate that and be like, this is what we've observed on what was her name, Raya.
It's exactly the same.
Exactly the same. Thank you. I'm really sorry that this happened to you. But maybe we should talk outside.
I don't know. I kind of feel like she kind of has a right to know. She's 13. It's not like she's 3. She's
Okay.
It's practically a
probably
woman.
freaked out, and she just took off in the woods.
Well, okay. Well, I didn't want to say this in front of her.
But knowing might,
Well.
Yeah, it's just right now. It's just Sarissa and Prunella and the 4 of y'all.
All I gotta say, it might be better if Prunella stayed here with the elves. If Sarissa, if you're willing to protect her.
We can protect her
Because,
I think that's absolutely a good idea.
what we're dealing with here, there's a lot of magic, a lot of summoning, beings from the lower planes we've had to deal with. But, I mean, you are a pretty strong community from what we've seen, looks like. Know how to handle yourself.
We're out of the way and we can keep her hidden.
But
Hidden is important.
not sure who we're up against will react now that they know we're trying to protect these girls, because they've been taking their time 1 month at a time following the pattern. What do you think?
Let me use divine sense just now.
Okay.
Really should have done that before I started talking, but
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna do it now.
Okay.
Use divine sense.
See if there is anything peeping.
You detect a couple of fairies nearby, a couple of fey creatures.
Okay.
Not unusual. There are gnomes here. But within 60 feet of you, you don't detect any fiendish presence.
Phew. Good. Just want to make sure.
And she's acting totally calm. She seems a little scared.
Oh, yeah, sure.
But
She should be scared.
she ran away because she didn't want whatever happened to Catlia and Teska's families to happen to hers.
Yeah.
She thought it'd be a better idea to just not tell them and run away.
Well,
It's not the worst plan.
I applaud your bravery, but you know,
Well,
at least you'll be safe now.
Well, okay. So if these girls are being taken, this is very ritualistic. I mean,
Yes.
it's a definite 13 years. Each girl's taken 13 years later, 1 month apart. Would they start taking them earlier? Do we think that is something that could happen?
Well, I mean,
I guess technically it did happen with Raya.
it did happen with Raya. They took her a week early, so what's to say that they're not going to now? I mean, what they saw that we tried to take Raya away and protect her, so
Well,
by that thinking, they'll probably think that we'll just try to go to the next girls and scoop them up and keep them squirreled away. But
okay, that means one of two things. Either maybe we could try to have another encounter with them at one of the locations of the girls, or we could completely ignore that and see if we can't find where the base of operations is, so to speak, or how many of them are there, if there's only one being causing all the problem. If
well, you saw 3, right, outside the
I saw
granary.
3.
3 presences.
Well,
You
2.
sensed 3
You
presents.
sensed
2
two
were
Fae
Fae who
and
ran
one
away, and
and
one
one
fiend.
one fiendish.
I think we should try to find their place of power. The more time we give them, the more powerful they'll likely be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
'Cause, yeah, it's pretty obvious that we can hoard up all the girls
Yeah.
together, and they might all get taken at once, or
Yeah.
we can let villagers try to protect them. But how good are they going to do?
Well, we didn't do so well with one.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Just quietly and regret saying it in front of this child.
That is true.
But I think the least we can do is save them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, they obviously have a lot invested in this ritual, so anything to disrupt that.
Agreed. However, I think we need to chase this lead.
Oh, we should just kill this girl now then.
I didn't want to say that.
Let's put that on the back burner. Consider it a plan D.
Well,
For don't.
For don't.
yeah, plan D for don't.
Well, I'm sure the tenants of your order have pretty strict things to say about that.
Yeah, they do.
Well, however, if we are dealing with a coven of hags and they are completing some kind of ritual, there's a reason they've kept the girls healthy and disease-free for 13 years exactly. So, killing one of them would stop the ritual. We're not going to do it, right? But
No.
we can talk about it.
No.
No?
Not in front of one.
No. John wouldn't consider it, but he'd bring it up.
Yeah, we're gonna be like, don't worry, we're not gonna kill you. I'm just thinking out loud.
I will gingerly place myself between her and the rest of the group.
What? All the more reason why we don't need to chase around their targets. We need to find them.
Yeah.
So
So you guys are having this discussion about whether or not she should die in front of her?
no.
You know,
Like
gone
outside.
No,
outside?
that's why I expressly said we should talk
Gone
outside.
outside. Okay. All right. So the elven grandmother comes back in. It's Sarissa and you, as well as 2 of Sarissa's scouts, who are, they basically have let you know that they can take you to where they know Jugurth is.
Well, I think that should be our next step.
Yeah.
And
Agreed.
But anything that they can do to keep this girl completely out of sight, out of mind, and to understand of what they're dealing with. These things show up; they're invisible. They're summoning creatures.
yeah.
Including
Anything-
any protective magic.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so
Yeah.
it's not that I don't think that the elves can do a good job.
Her two scouts are whispering to themselves back and forth with each other, like
In Elven,
Rinn.
or?
Yeah, in Elven.
In Elven? Or
They
what-
don't, they don't speak anything on it.
I speak Elven.
What's your passive perception?
15.
Yeah, you don't notice this.
That's 23.
Yeah. The 2 of them are basically saying, like, should we also take them to the hut? This is what the 2 of them are kind of whispering to one another.
I'm gonna just maybe kind of try to casually walk slightly closer to see who they're talking about.
I mean, they're talking about you guys. You are the they. Should they? in that. They're basically like there's something they're arguing about whether or not that if it's worthwhile to show you guys something.
I'll go ahead and tell him, hey, it's probably a good idea to show us whatever you're talking about.
Okay, so still in Elven or still in Elvish, Sarissa is basically like I suppose the hut is maybe connected to this, and then that's when she sort of lets everybody know.
Yeah, what hut?
What hut?
Well, she said it in Elvish.
You don't know. I'm sorry.
Let you speak it.
Well, I'll translate.
Hut?
Who else speaks
I'll be like, they're
Elvish?
talking about a hut.
Everybody
but
except for
Fabian.
Fabian.
Everybody except for Fabian.
What hut?
We're talking about killing the girl in Elvish.
In
now.
Elvish.
In Infernal, Fabian will just be like, well, fine, I don't care.
What did you say?
I can speak my own languages.
It showed up about maybe 2-3 months ago in the woods.
It?
This is a structure, abandoned, long abandoned, but it has.
But it wasn't there before.
It wasn't there before. We have never seen it before.
Okay.
But it has. There's something disturbing inside of it you might want to see, and it might help you in your endeavors.
Is it close?
It's on the way to Jugurtha. It's in the woods.
Well, then, let's head on to Jugurtha's and stop there on the way, then.
All right.
Absolutely.
Make haste.
Yes.
So they gear up.
You want me to cast haste?
No, not yet.
Not
Oh.
later. Later.
They gear up
I can do that.
knives and arrows and bows and
Yeah.
cloaks.
Gear up scene.
They got a gear up scene.
I
There's a
drink
good
some
gearing
hooch
up
during that scene.
And take you on your way. The location of this place that they want to show you is fairly close to where the goblins are. They think it'll take about 2 hours to get there, but
Yeah.
and sort of it's not on the way, but it's in the same general direction.
All right. We will follow our guides then.
Okay, so you follow the elves.
Yes. We should try to be stealthy, I think.
Okay, so you're taking your time being stealthy.
I think with myself and their rangers guiding, I think we should be okay.
They can get you to the edge of what they consider their territory
Uh-huh.
via the walkways. And so you'll be traveling
Easy
about
peasy.
30 feet above the ground on these walkways. Anybody who has really poor dexterity, I don't think anybody does.
I'm wearing plate mail and big shield.
And I
what's your
have
dex?
12 decks.
12.
That's above average. It's not like a 7.
Yeah.
It's not below.
There's no dex penalty in it.
Fabian's
Well,
just
there's
falling down
penalties
like a
for
turtle.
low AC.
negative.
There's penalties for
Yeah.
low abilities for everything.
Yeah.
Well, no, but I mean, it's like armor check penalty.
Not like 3rd edition.
no,
No,
no. Yeah.
you're fine.
It's a little
You're-
better.
You're
So used to armor check penalty.
right. We have disadvantage on stealth checks. In
Yeah.
heavy armor. That's about it.
Yeah.
But the walkways are well constructed, wide. There doesn't seem, you don't have any problems making your way up there. It's probably about 45 minutes or so after you descend from the trees and are you're outside of the Wood Elves territory, before you come across a old, half collapsed wooden structure. Just in the middle of a glade. There's like this forest glade. It's surrounded by like wicker totems and sort of like these creepy looking dream catcher things hanging from the branches.
May I use my knowledge religion to try to ascribe any sort of
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
deific meaning to it?
sure thing.
All right.
Blair Witch.
Yes. Blair Witch.
Yes, Blair
Blair
Witch.
Witch.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah.
Nice.
Natural 20.
Nice.
Woo.
23 in total.
Yeah, well, most of these things look like items that are meant to draw in and channel magical power. They're meant to amplify whatever being's natural power there is.
I cast Divine Sense once. We're within about 100 feet of it.
Okay. There is a fey presence here.
Okay. Where?
You know exact location of it?
Yep.
Okay. It's about 20 feet up in that tree.
Okay. I look in that tree.
Okay.
Let me double check. I'm pretty sure it tells me where, but not specifically who it is. There's no type and location.
I think that's right. That sounds about right.
Yep.
Anyway, give me a perception check, and anybody else who's looking up in that general direction.
24.
14.
16.
13.
Yeah, you guys don't see anything. Like, Rinn, you're looking up there, it's like, it's just an empty branch.
Do you tell anybody what you sense?
I do.
Okay.
Can't believe there's Fae up there.
On
It's
that
not going
empty
away.
branch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if I just slowly pull out an arrow and aim it in that direction, anything moving?
Yeah, it moves.
It's shifting.
It moves to another branch over there.
It's over there now.
I'm gonna call out in Sylvan, just like, is anyone there? You know.
Okay. No, you don't hear an answer.
Tell him just to come down and talk to us.
I'll speak in Infernal, because why not?
Okay.
You better get down if you value your life.
Okay.
Jeez.
It stays in the branch.
Let's burn this house down.
Whoa! Whoa!
That's a jump.
I mean, I would come out of it.
So
if
they
my house
point.
was on fire.
So point to the exact branch.
I will point to the exact branch.
How far away is it from where we are right now?
It's probably about 25 feet away from you.
Okay. I'm gonna cast Gust of Wind at that branch.
Okay.
So it's a 60-foot long line, 10 feet wide.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna throw a Gust of Wind at that branch. If I hit whatever it is, strength save or be pushed 15 feet.
What's DC?
DC is 16.
Okay. So yeah, a gust of wind goes tearing through the trees, branches, twigs and leaves and everything go flying everywhere, and you no longer sense the presence of whatever it is.
Well, yeah. I'll have to cast again. It only lasts until the end of my next turn.
Ah, okay. I thought it's like paladins get this weird thing where they have the divine sensibility, but then they can also cast detect good and evil.
Yep.
Which just does the same thing as their divine
But
sensibility.
better and longer.
But better and longer.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a weird.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I mean,
True.
What? What's going on?
nothing. All right. But you no longer sense it
Okay.
if you check again or something.
It's scurried. It's gone. Alright.
Okay. Well, be wary.
Yeah.
I can also detect if anything's been desecrated or consecrated. Is there anything like that, like in the hut?
The hut is desecrated.
Well,
It's on hollow ground.
on hallowed ground. Evil. Evil.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Oh, but let's not burn it.
Keep the evil hut nice and clean.
We might be able to clean it up.
So you guys are just standing around outside the hut.
It's a lot of work.
That's
true.
Well,
Yeah, the three elves take up watch positions around the hut. Sarissa and the other two.
I'll be able to tell that's, you said stone? As long as the walls aren't a foot thick, I'll be able to tell.
Walls are wood.
Oh,
They're wooden
okay.
walls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roof's
Roof's partially
at the door.
collapsed, doors open.
Yeah.
Well, then I guess I'll peek in the door.
Yeah.
Okay,
All
so
of the
give
stealthy ones do their job.
it a peek. So Rinn goes to the door.
I got a 27 perception.
So it's
Peer in.
it's kind of you see a single roomed hut that has been obviously open to the elements for a number of years. There's grasses and weeds and everything growing on the inside. There's a bunch of smashed cookware and a table that's kind of just looks like probably just collapsed under its own weight of rot. Most everything that you see in just first glance inside is this place has been ransacked and abandoned for a number of years. There might have at one point been a floor covering or something like a rug, but it's since been just molded and rotted away. And it looks like you might have spotted a trapdoor.
I'm gonna check out this trapdoor.
So you go in the hut.
Very cautiously.
I'll take point.
So there's a bunch of old,
I'll cover you.
just crusty, dried herbs hanging from string and twine hanging from the ceiling.
I mean, it doesn't look like something could actually live here.
It doesn't
right?
look like anyone or anything has lived here other than maybe birds in, ever.
Mags have standards, right?
and when did they all
Well-
say this showed up?
They said this showed up a couple of months ago.
A couple of months ago, yet it hasn't been lived in years.
Yep. Anybody follow Rinn into the house?
Absolutely.
Okay, so John follows Rinn into the
Yeah,
house.
I got my crossbow right over her shoulder, checking.
I think I'm gonna get behind the trapdoor.
Uh-huh.
Does it appear to be locked at all?
No. I mean, it looks like it could lock from the outside, but that lock is long since rusted and broken off.
I'm just gonna yank
Hang
it
on,
open.
hang on a second. Before you do that, I'm gonna pull up my wand and cast detect magic, just to make sure.
Okay. Yeah, there's a glyph on that trapdoor.
You're welcome.
All right.
So,
Okay.
don't really have a way to do that. Is there like a latch or something?
Like, how do you mean?
I mean, for the trapdoor, is there like a latch?
Yeah,
or-
yeah. There's like a ring that you can pull up on.
Okay. Take out my rope, throw it over to you, tie that around that ring.
Yeah, I'll like do a pulley system so we can pull it without
Yeah.
getting hurt.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I think
yeah,
that's a good idea.
is there like a rafter or something, or anything above that we could kind of throw the rope over? Okay.
I'll very gingerly tie it on there because magic is gross.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I'll
you tie-
make sure everybody stays near me because I may be able to help you if something happens.
If need
Yeah.
be, you can
I was about
protect
to
us
say.
with
Run
your
back
aura.
behind Fabian.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Several
So-
different ways.
So yes,
Tie it off. Okay.
tie it off. Everything's
Yeah.
tied off.
Okay. We'll stay close to Fabian, but stay away from the door.
Staying away from Fabian. Are you still in the house?
I don't think we should be in the house.
No.
Okay.
No.
No, not at all.
If we got
No.
enough rope, yeah, let's take
I got
it back
50
out
feet
the
of
front
rope.
door.
Okay.
I'm sure someone else
I'll
does.
be
that.
at
You
the
don't-
edge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's plenty.
ready to shoot, but I'm going to be out of the house.
So you open it. There is a loud explosion, and a big gout of fire sort of comes up out of the off of the door, burning a giant arc across what's left of the ceiling.
Thank
I
you,
guess you were
Theron.
right this time.
Yeah.
In the middle of all that, I'm gonna yell out, "You're welcome!"
And yeah, that's it.
Okay. All right. It was like a SWAT team. Like a SWAT team.
Birds go
We're going
flying
in.
everywhere. Yeah.
We blow the door, then we go in.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So again, I'm covering you.
All right. See if there's anything left.
For the next 10 minutes, I got to detect magic up, so
Okay.
I'm scanning.
There is a ladder that leads down beneath the hut.
I'm nervous now.
Okay.
I'm.
Looking down, do I see anything at the bottom of the ladder? Like how far down does it go?
It's about maybe 8 feet or so.
Oh, okay.
I
So
can
it
go
doesn't-
first if you like.
It's dark down there.
I put on my goggles
I'm
at
gonna,
night.
I'm gonna grab just a piece of refuse, cast light on it, and drop it down.
Okay. So it's illuminated.
Okay.
Is Fabian still going down first?
I am the toughest.
Okay.
Uh,
So Fabian descends the ladder.
Does this ladder look strong enough?
I'll be. We'll go down.
yeah,
right
I
after you.
mean,
It's not rotten like everything else.
it's been underground in this thing. It doesn't look like it's a great ladder, but it probably can bear the weight.
Before descending, I'm gonna ask the elves, how close are we to the goblins?
I mean, they're maybe it's probably about another 30-minute walk.
Okay.
Where the goblins are.
I'm gonna go ahead and pull out a scroll of mage armor and cast that.
Okay.
Nice. Just in case.
Never know. Something just tried to destroy us, so.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Fabian descends the ladder.
Yes.
And beneath is a small room. Actually, it's a bit bigger than the hut itself, but it's got a really low ceiling. The ceiling's probably about 5 feet tall. And Fabian turns around and sort of descends the ladder. The room is roughly square shaped, and you descend into the middle of a circle of 12 cradles.
Oh
Nice.
my! Maybe and we'll say
Cradle, cradle,
you'd
cradle.
all better get down here.
All
Come
right.
down after him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Rinn, Theron.
Yeah, I'm going to
Activate a
request.
minute of my boots and float down.
Okay.
I'm gonna request
into
that
the
the
room.
elves stay up here and watch our backs
Okay.
if they're still hanging around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not touching the floor. I'm hovering.
You're gonna hover. Okay. Yeah. So they join you.
Okay.
Everybody's down there in the basement.
How big is the room?
It's fairly cramped down here with the 4 of y'all in it, if only because the ceiling's a little low. You're kind of on a stoop.
Do these cradles look old?
Yeah, these cradles look old. Yeah.
Like 13
Wow.
years old, or like
I mean, they look old. Are you a carpenter or a,
I am a wood carver.
are you a wood carver?
Yes, wood carver.
Snap
Wood carver's
on.
tool.
All right.
I can also drive land vehicles. Thank you very much.
All right. So they are not. They are old.
Okay.
You might guess that they're unfinished cribs.
Okay.
Or cradles that have never been. They've just been hastily made.
Yeah. Gotcha.
And then have sat down here in this dank basement for a number of years.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think we found the spot where they were brought to originally.
Yeah, this might be.
Is there
Stay on
anything else in
D&D.
here?
Welcome to D&D Cribs.
Yeah.
What did you say? What did you say?
show you my
What's
castle.
Fabian doing?
Is there anything else in here?
Oh, wait, you guys just have got down here and have just looked around. I don't know if
Well, I mean, I
you
still have
guys
detect magic up, so
No magic down here.
nothing around here.
No.
I'm just gonna look around for any kind of magical accoutrement for like rituals or whatever. Like that's what I'm gonna be looking for. I'm looking for carvings, whatever.
Okay. So you start looking around. What about Rinn? What's everybody doing?
I'm gonna look around for maybe any other trapdoors or secret doors or tunnels or any way besides just the way we came in.
I got an 18 investigate.
Okay.
I got a 13.
13. What about Fabian and John?
Yeah, I'm gonna look around for any sort of evidence that there were babies here.
Okay.
Bottles, cloth, anything.
Diapers.
Anything, yes.
Yeah, so you go to the first cradle, and there's a skeleton in it.
Those babies aren't real. Wow.
I'm beginning to wonder if maybe you're right.
We should have killed those kids.
Yeah.
Damn it, we should have killed the kids.
Why didn't we murder the children?
It's the question we ask ourselves at every session of D&D.
So, yeah, because it's for devil worshipping. Yeah,
There's also a magic circle inscribed on the ground.
That we're now
The
inside.
That you're now inside.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look active. It looks
Yeah.
like it's...
Right.
Yeah, I'm not gonna stay in.
I will
But
take a piece of chalk out of my priest pack and just in
Go
case.
the edge.
break the line.
Is this just like a typical circle, or does it look like it's got any kind of?
It looks like the runes
Person.
on it. What languages do you speak? You might not recognize. the
I
runes.
speak Common, Primordial, Elven, and Orc.
You don't really recognize the runes. Fabian recognized them as infernal. That these are runes involved in some sort of demonic ritual,
Okay, well, while we're here, I'm gonna take out
fiendish ritual.
a piece of parchment and do a quick sketch, just for comparison later.
Okay. What's John doing?
Jeez.
I'll do it.
I'm not sure what John's doing. Because on the one hand, John's kind of out of his league a little bit.
Sure.
He doesn't understand fiends. Does this seem like Fey behavior?
Nah, none of this seems like Faye behavior.
Okay.
No, Faye would take a kid, keep it, play with it for a while,
Yeah.
enjoy it, maybe switch it out for a changeling.
Because Fey are fun-loving like that.
I mean, they're
Yeah.
not evil. They're just sometimes
He's gonna go tell Sarissa what they found.
rude. Yes. Okay.
He needs a little bit of age and wisdom to get a perspective on this. So he's gonna talk to her.
Okay. So Sarissa, when you go up out top,
Back.
the three elves are looking at a different tree, and two of them have their bows drawn, and they're kind of discussing whether or not they think there's something watching them.
I'll cast Divine Sense again.
Well, you're downstairs, I think.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
They're downstairs.
Yeah. This is something.
Everybody
that
else
I-
is still downstairs.
Okay, we're downstairs.
So Rinn, Theron, Fabian.
Well, I'm gonna
Theron's-
continue what I'm
Theron's
doing unless
continuing
somebody
to
lets us
Faye.
know about anything else.
Rinn.
I got a 13 just to investigate.
Each crib has a skeleton in it. They look like infant human. They're yay big, and they have bite marks on the bones, like they've been gnawed on.
They've been gnawed upon.
Gnawed upon. But they've also been carefully arranged in their cribs to look like they're asleep, like the skeletons. They aren't just in piles; they're laid out. And everything.
Like little hands like that, maybe.
Sure.
Oh, gross. Okay. Okay. So, we got a cat wanting to come up.
Yes, she'll probably come up here in a minute.
Okay.
No other way in or out of here.
No other way. No, there doesn't appear to be any other way in around here.
Yeah, I'm climb back out.
Okay, so Rinn climbs back out.
I'll follow suit after I finish my sketch.
After thing, and then what about Fabian?
I'll go last.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna whisper to the elves, like approach them and be like, "What? Can you guys tell what we're looking at? What are we looking at?"
All right, they think that they're being observed by invisible creatures. If they are Fae, then they are. If they are Fae,
little
then
kitty.
they are.
Would you were an invisible creature?
That is not an invisible creature.
Not invisible at all. Quite visible.
They, these woods are chock full of pixies and fairies and nymphs, and they're all over the place. So it's not unusual if you are being observed by an invisible creature. Given the state that the villagers and the Fae have had for the last decade and change, most Fae are not going to show themselves to a bunch of people.
No.
Right. So if it is a pixie or a nixie or a whatever,
Would I know how to get its attention peacefully? Like leave candy or something? Would I know?
you could probably leave a gift for it, and it might come out later.
Okay.
But it could take a while if they're wearing.
Fair enough.
There are 7 of you armed to the teeth.
Yeah, armed to the teeth. Yeah.
Or we could just throw rocks at it.
Well,
Yes.
it's definitely not going to come out of the rocks. Yeah, no. John's gonna at least make an effort. I mean, again, 7 charisma is not going to help him, but with his knowledge, both good and bad, of Fae, maybe he might know a way to approach this thing if it's friendly.
So you leave it a treat.
Yeah,
You leave some treat.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it a treat, and I'm not gonna point my crossbow at it. No.
Are you waiting around? Like, what do you guys are kind of on a tight timetable. You have no idea of what this thing is, if it's an ally, if it's going to help you or not, or if it's...
I'm gonna give it 5 minutes, and I'm gonna tell everybody else to discuss what's going on the other side of the barn.
Okay.
And I will yell out if something happens.
Okay.
That's
Well, while we're discussing, I'm going to say if this doesn't work, then we go right to threats.
Yep.
Yeah, nothing happens after 5 minutes. You leave treats out on the ground?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think we'd best move.
Yeah.
This place is disturbing.
Yeah. Well, I rejoin you guys, and so let's.
When I got out, my detect magic still up? Could I see anything
You can detect the presence of an illusion spell in the vicinity.
Okay.
in the vicinity?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna yell. I'm gonna do an intimidate check and basically say, "We're here. We're here for the good. We're here for the good of nature in the woods. And if you have some information as to the origin of this place, you best come forward now,
Straightforward.
Okay.
or else."
Okay.
And I roll a 2,
It happens.
so that's a 10. Intimidate.
Maybe. Oh well. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was gonna say, could somebody?
Somebody want to help me?
Yeah. Maybe an aid action.
I can
Somebody, yeah, Fabian, you're
wants to
all
intimidate?
whatever.
Not very intimidating. What was that?
Roll another
Slightly
2.
intimidating.
Well, if you're helping me, it gives me advantage. I rolled
Yes.
another 2.
Awesome.
All right.
I will try to do it from the other side. What would it be? Performance or persuasion to say a
Persuasion.
prayer and include the good creatures of this forest who have been displaced by this creepy thing for so long.
So you're saying a prayer
I'm
for them?
sort of saying a prayer, putting the kids in the basement to rest, but also trying to do it very publicly
Yeah.
so that
It's part performance, part prayer.
I include Faye and the natural in
Then
the
maybe that's
forest
more
of the area.
performance then.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Guilt
Maybe
them
more
into
performance,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna do this.
Abby agrees.
Abby approves.
Oh, and that's a 6. Anybody want to help me out?
I'll help you out.
You'll help me out?
Yeah.
Let's see.
We pray this way.
That's a 9. It's a 14.
Okay. Yeah, whatever's in that tree
He's giving us the finger.
is staying up there.
Okay.
I have a bad reputation as my background trait.
Uh-huh.
Maybe like, hey, I'm the Cuttlefish. Get down here.
Okay. They are...
Probably doesn't hold much sway with.
Whether or not how much fairies know about what goes on in the world of pirates.
She's a famous pirate.
The mermaids talked about you.
Yeah, whatever efforts you guys are
mermaid was
making
saved that time.
and whatever's up in that tree doesn't seem to have made a dent. It sort of stays there and observes you for a while. At some point it moves to a different tree. You can sort of tell if your detect magic's still up. And it moves from over there to up here.
Oh man, I just want to put a storm sphere on it right now.
Yeah. What if it's my pixie friend who's just too shy?
Well,
Then you're a murderer.
All right, so the 7 of y'all are outside the hut. What's your plan now?
okay. First off, whatever that's in the tree, fuck it. We should get going, but I think we need to take these remains with us as A, proof. B, Sarissa, I think you and your people need to go down and see that.
Okay.
So you can at least be witness to what we saw.
Well, we also don't want them sitting on unhallowed ground and rotting
yeah,
away.
and there's that.
Yeah.
Because
baby ghosts?
a whole other thing could pop up from that, yeah.
Baby ghosts. Let's not.
So I think
not.
that should be our next thing, and then we should go ahead and get moving to the
Time
to
is
our
of the
location.
essence.
Okay. So Sarissa and the elves go into the basement and help you gather up the remains.
I'll put them in a bag. I've got I
Okay.
brought a sack with me, so
Okay.
and we'll find a place to put them.
Okay. Yeah, so there's just sort of, that takes about,
Got a bag full of dead
minutes.
children, but that's okay.
See the
Is there
remains.
like cloth in the cribs? Can we kind of try to keep them separate?
Yeah, there's probably a way. There's like swaddling.
Yeah.
I'd feel
clothes
bad
in
if we
the
just
cribs.
mixed all these bones together.
You are right, and it'll be better when burying them. Yeah, good
Speaking
point.
of that, is there any distinguishing features of the swaddling used for each baby, like a different colored blanket or anything?
Not really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just in case there was something to indicate the actual identity to each of these babies.
I mean, each of the blankets is different, but they don't seem any.
Right. Wait, nobody can speak with dead, right?
Just think
They're
about
also
it.
Yeah, it's when that cleric would show up.
Well, I mean, it would be a baby.
That's true.
correct.
You'd be like,
Ba-
Goo Goo Gaga? Yeah, Goo Goo Gaga.
Yeah, I
Good baby.
got eaten. I got born and then I got eaten.
Oh my
Is
god.
that the way this life thing works?
Kind of. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes. I do have one other thing to point out. As I'm gathering up the bones, it kind of dawns on me. If these things... If the 12 girls aren't like sacrifices or whatever, this time around at least, what do they want with them?
Well, they're keeping them alive for something, so
but
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's assuming
For
that
some
these
kind of
girls are
transformation?
Actually, still little girls.
Yeah, exactly. Were they transformed? Are they like proxies?
I think they've probably just been incubating for 13 years.
Maybe so. Maybe
So
so.
we probably need to head this off before whatever comes out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think let's get moving.
All right.
Yes.
So y'all set off into the woods, looking for Jugurtha
Yes.
and the goblin tribe.
Oh yeah.
Sarissa and her scouts lead you there. Like I said, they're pretty accurate with their estimations about how long it takes to get there. The goblin encampment is, for lack of a better word, is a bunch of sort of brightly colored tents and wagons, and they're sort of, they're fey creatures, but they also live in the world. They're not as they're not as magical as, say, a pixie or a dryad.
Yeah.
But they're certainly part of the fey world.
They're kind of like red caps, kind of.
Sure.
They're
yeah.
like gross and small.
So, the goblins that live here, they don't, they've been here for maybe about 5 or so years by John's account. They haven't always been here. They sort of moved in after a certain point. And when you guys sort of walk into their encampment, they don't seem like really startled, but a bunch of them sort of like start reaching their clawed hands, start reaching for knife handles or clubs or things like that, but there's no violence.
Hold up with two hands.
Okay.
I don't know if everybody's doing that, but
I'm not going to do that.
yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm hoping they know of me. And
They know of you. You hunt them down occasionally when they.
And if I'm not trying to kill them right now, I'm hoping they take a split second at least so we can maybe impart. Does anybody speak Goblin?
Nope.
Okay.
They speak Goblin and Sylvan.
Okay. So I would say in Sylvan, we're looking for Jugurtha. We're not here to harm you. That is what I'm saying.
All right. So you say that there is a brief sort of tense moment where it looks like the entire camp might just ignore you to begin with and attack.
Yeah.
But a tall, muscular wood elf. Sorry, kitty. A tall, muscular wood elf steps out from one of the tents and makes his way over to you.
Is it Jugurtha?
Yeah, you recognize him as Jugurtha.
All right.
And he's got sort of like...
I put my hands down.
Yeah.
In case I need to reach for my crossbow.
He's got sort of stark white hair, wearing sort of form-fitting leather outfit, and just sort of makes his way over to you. So he comes to you. He's got sort of white, silverish hair, wearing a form-fitting leather outfit, and approaches you. And basically says, "I hope you have a very good reason for being here."
We do. We have a very, very good reason for being here. Is he speaking in Sylvan?
He's speaking in Sylvan, actually. Whatever language he knows, you would speak.
Yeah, I would assume.
I mean, is this the first time you're ever meeting Jugurtha?
No, I assume we maybe even took pot shots at each other at one point. This is not a friendly relationship, or even ambivalent. This is
some of the toughest looking goblins sort of form a semicircle around him, behind him, so that he's kind of in the middle of it. They're sort of fanned out back behind him.
We're here seeking knowledge, Jugurtha, and I know you don't like me, I don't like you, but we may very well have a greater enemy.
All right. Who's the greater enemy then?
I will attempt to explain the situation. Surely he knows about the 12 girls that were kidnapped 13 years ago, and if not, I'll impart it. I'm trained in history, so I figure I'd tell a good yarn if I need to. So I tell him everything that happened 13 years ago. The girls being taken one by one, and then now kind of relay that. It's escalated 13 years later.
Right.
Now families are being murdered, homes being destroyed, and these girls are disappearing. And there's a good chance that they're not even who they say they are.
Okay. One of the goblins sort of comes up to him, and they exchange a few words in a harsh, guttural language. And then he sort of just tells the rest of them to bring the boy out.
Okay.
Bring the boy. He says, well, under normal circumstances, I wouldn't be as accommodating or welcoming to you. But I have the impression that there is something greater happening. Something that threatens maybe all of us if it's allowed to come to pass. And that can't be allowed to come to pass.
I believe it.
He says, I understand that you have no reason to trust me or my companions, but if you would allow me to show you a bit of hospitality, perhaps we can take the edge off of things.
Does everyone agree?
Okay. I've made no threatening action.
All right.
Okay.
So he takes you into one of the bigger tents and invites you to sit down, and they bring out a very scared-looking 7-year-old boy.
I immediately ask her, or him, what was the girl's name? Katya?
Katya.
Katlia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll just be like, are you Katlia's brother?
He kind of like shakes his head.
So you were at the house when she was taken?
Mm-hmm.
Did they take you as well? Or did you run?
He ran.
You ran?
He ran.
What
Yeah.
did he see?
He hid under the bed and he ran.
What did you see? Yeah.
He tells you that his sister that night was crying, was having some kind of... The way he describes it, it sounds like she was having some kind of fit. Mm-hmm. That there was a lot of screaming, a lot of crying. She was saying a lot of bad words. I don't want to do my best 7-year-old impression.
She was saying bad words.
Bad words. It was scary. It was so scary.
We've all been 7.
And then he describes a loud crashing and screaming. And then something attacked his sister, maybe. He wasn't sure. He had hidden under the bed by that point. But that there was something big and green in the house.
Green.
Green.
Sort of like... Yeah, and it's that it smelled like the ocean.
Yeah.
Yep. And that it attacked his... they attacked his parents and then set fire to the house and ran out.
And it hurt your sister?
Like, he doesn't know.
You never really saw your sister.
Yeah, that he hasn't. And that he ran, and then his friends came and got him. And that he kind of puts his arm around the nearest goblin. The goblin's just like... shake it off.
Yeah, everybody gets that clingy friend.
Yeah.
So the goblins rescued you?
He says yes. The goblins don't look like they... The goblins keep trying to, like, push... The goblins are sort of slowly pushing him towards you.
Take him.
Yeah.
So basically, the goblins found him, and yeah.
Well, I mean, from his perspective, maybe they helped a lot.
Well, hey, they did
They're
find
nice
him. And they
guys.
probably
They're-
been feeding him and not killing him.
Feeding him what, though? Yeah. Anyway.
Well,
Right. Muck. Goblin muck.
Right. So Jugurtha sort of lets you know, I guess, this is Malik. He's quite a handful. And we would appreciate it if you could take him off our hands. I would hate for something horrible to happen to him, he says as a non-threat.
is that a threat?
If you can find his family,
Well,
or at least someone to take him in, we would be very grateful. We don't like having dealings with the humans.
Well,
And
he
we don't want
doesn't
any
need to be here.
connection or ties to them. No reason for them to come looking for us. Is basically how he puts it.
Yeah, and that's good.
Right.
The fewer direct conflict between the goblins and the humans, the better.
Yeah. Jugurtha wasn't here 13 years ago, neither were the goblins, but they've learned from the local fae what happened. And Jugurtha basically says if they come looking for us, for someone to blame, we will kill them all.
Yeah. So let's not make that
We're
happen.
prepared to do that.
right. I'm gonna pull them aside, away from everybody, and be like, didn't the elves say that their goblins worshipped a hag? Should we maybe ask about that said hag?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Do you want to do it?
Yeah. So Jugurtha,
I don't want to do it.
we've heard tale that these goblins worship a hag.
There is a being here. Nana Jenny
Nana Jenny,
is her name.
is
Yes.
she here now?
She's the goblin's crone. I speak with her occasionally, but we tend to keep out of each other's way.
Is she here now?
She's here now.
Has she been here this whole time?
She was here whenever we got here. The goblins
And
fell into worshiping her. There's not a lot I can do about it.
right. But her comings and goings, are they known? Or just,
Yeah.
she just,
No, if you're that keen on seeing her, I'm not sure why you would. She's a disgusting creature.
well, mostly because we think that this is the work of hags. So when we find out that there's a hag here,
Gotcha. Yeah, if you're that keen on meeting her, then I can take you to her.
Let's do that.
Absolutely.
and I'm just gonna
Just say hi.
send a message in Elven to Sarissa, and just basically be like, keep an eye out.
Keep an eye out.
Keep your hand on an arrow.
Okay. Do they want... Sorcerer wants to know if you want them to follow you or if you would rather them stay outside.
I think I should stay with the kid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that little boy might not make it if the fight breaks out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
At
think
least
we should
have
really
somebody
be
on the
nervous.
kid, but watch our backs as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
More importantly, if anything bad goes down, they need to spread the word that that one of the hags that have been kidnapping children is here. If that's what happens.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And
So,
I will point out that we are technically splitting up the group.
well,
Well-
we're not splitting up us though.
yeah.
However, you're right. We're splitting up
we're
the
splitting
group.
up the henchmen. And I
wanted
think
it
that's a little bit
acknowledged.
okay.
Point
Yeah.
taken. So what do you guys do with Malik,
It's gonna go bad.
the little kid,
Yeah.
I
who
think.
seems perfectly happy here?
Well, I think.
He's,
If they could tolerate him a little longer.
Yeah. I mean, I think if we just maybe leave one elf to keep an eye on Malik here, and have the others. Because how far away is Mama or Nana Jenny?
So this encampment is sort of just set up in a clearing in the woods. There's no defenses, there's no wall or anything. There's just a collection of lean-tos and tents and
Yeah.
little traveling wagons and things that they've set up. Nana Jenny's tent, where she lives, looks more like a big dirt pile with some tent.
But it's
around
within
it.
eye shot of where
But
we
yeah,
are
it's
now?
like
okay, well then
right over there.
we're not really splitting anyone up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Okay.
guys are all going to be in the same
Yeah.
proximity.
Yeah, well, so let's leave one elf maybe to keep a look over Malik to get him out of here if the shit goes crazy. But I think we should have Sarissa and her, because there's three of them, right?
Correct.
Yeah, the other two just watch us,
Okay.
keep an eye on us from a few feet away at least.
Okay. Were you going to say something?
So just wondering why Jugurtha's here and hanging out with a bunch of goblins.
I
We
don't know.
established that?
It's a good question. Nobody's established that.
I'm interested in that question.
Yeah.
I'm not talking to him. He doesn't like me.
I can't talk to him apparently.
You just, he'll talk to you.
he speak common?
He speaks common.
Oh.
Yeah, he just wasn't before because he's like, why would I?
All right. Well, I'm gonna ask him that. What are you doing here? Why goblins?
These are my people.
You're not a goblin.
And they need a leader. They need someone to give them purpose and direction. Otherwise, they'll be a nuisance and a menace.
What do you get out of it?
A family. I mean, I totally get that. I was
Raised by pirates.
Yeah, people that weren't the same race as me. Sometimes you just don't fit in with your own.
I suppose.
I mean, and you guys would have probably last night have discussed this in greater detail. John would be able to tell the group that there were always rumors that Jugurtha was in league with the Fae of something. That he has sought them out as a patron.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's why we looked for him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Privately later, I'd be like, he's hanging out with goblins because they'll listen to him because he's taller.
can I get an inside check when talking about Mama
That's
Jenny
sad.
or Nana Jenny?
Nana Jenny.
Jugurtha to see,
Nana Jenny.
I don't know, when the way he talks about her, if there's any animosity, whatever, 16 insight.
There seems to be a lot of animosity, not so much born out of fear as you detect maybe a hint of jealousy, almost.
Gotcha.
Like
He wants to
Power
lead by
struggle
himself.
going on.
yeah, perhaps a bit of a power struggle.
So maybe it is good. Maybe it's a good thing if we find a connection with
Yeah.
Nana Jenny, with what's going on.
But she does not have any sway over him or anything. Get out of here, cat. We don't need you right
We
now.
love you, Medea, just not right now.
Get out of here. But yeah, he takes you to her tent.
Okay.
Okay.
And it's basically like, I'm not going in there, but there she is. And you feel like the air around him is cold when he starts to talk about it. By now it's midday, it's warmed up and everything, but when you're in his presence, it's chilly. And his breath is always, you can always kind of see his breath.
Okay. Now Theon's connecting. You're the ice knight he's heard of.
Yeah.
Thanks for checking out WebDM. Go ahead and come back next week for our continuing adventure. Go ahead and head over to Facebook and like us there. And don't forget, click that subscribe button, tell your friends about us. Come on back next week.